So as the 2026 academic calendar gets underway, attention is turning to whether South Africa's higher learning institutions are indeed fully prepared for the year again. Concerns around enrolment delays, limited student housing and financial constraints have become issues that are far more in sharp focus following monitoring visits by the department's officials to universities. We've seen the TVET colleges and the community colleges across the country as well, unable to absorb the number of students that might want to enter. The Basic Education Deputy Minister, the Higher Education Deputy Minister, Dr. Nomusa Dube-Ncube, joins us to talk about how ready the sector is to handle the pressures of the new academic year. Deputy Minister, good morning to you and welcome to the program. Thank you so much for your time. When your department says it's all systems go for the 26 academic year, what do you mean?
Thank you, Iman, and your viewers. Yes, it is all systems go from our side as we welcome the grade 12 learners who are transiting to our higher education institutions. We have been preparing, Iman, from last year. I mean, having meetings with universities, TVET colleges, community education colleges, just to make sure, and all other stakeholders, just to make sure that we are really up to our speed in terms of making sure that there is proper access, there are no glitches for our students as they come into the higher education. They've worked hard, in grade 12. And the least we could do is to make sure that we continue making them to be positive and looking forward to, continuing with their further education.
And I want to lead into that excitement. I mean, I was there in the room when the matric results were announced, proud families and parents there. And that, of course, extends countrywide to other learners who may not have been in the top achiever category, but who certainly did well in passing matric, looking to their next. And yet we do not have the capacity, whether you're thinking about university, whether you're thinking about TVET and community colleges, or even other spaces where higher education is offered. They will simply not be absorbed. So how does that connect to the reality of what is actually available once they finish school?
Well, Iman, when we calculate the whole of what we call post-school education and training sector, we will have enough space because we calculate here the universities, we calculate the TVET colleges, we calculate the community colleges, we calculate the private universities as well. But also over and above that, for those who might not want to continue or might have to take a break, there is what we call sector education and training, areas where they can go for their training while they are still looking at how they want to further their education. But indeed, Iman, if you only look at universities, there is not enough spaces for everybody. But as the higher education and training, we are pleading with our communities, we are pleading with our young people that TVET colleges must be their #1 priority because our country needs skills. Our country needs to grow the economy. We want people to open their businesses. We want entrepreneurs. And that you can only be able to do when you are in the TVET college space because that is where we are now doing vocational training. And Iman, we've changed even our curriculum now. We are concentrating on making sure that the priority skills that are needed by the economy. But more than that, we are now saying all our TVET colleges must make sure that we are twinned with industries. We cannot teach something that is not needed by the industries because when we do that, we are creating yet unemployed, young people.
Deputy Minister, I mean, I can appreciate, the good news message, but the reality is, and we've seen issues, and I'll come back to the universities in just a moment, but let's talk about the TVET colleges that you're saying young people should be thinking about principally. If they are now central, the TVETs and the community colleges, do they have the lecturers, the infrastructure and the curricula to absorb those thousands? And I think the projection is TVET's 170,000 spaces, at the community colleges 130,000 spaces. So that's about 300,000 of the more than 700 1,000 that would have qualified to study post-school. Are they resourced?
They are resourced, Iman, and we are working on the infrastructure right now as I'm talking to you to upgrade our infrastructure. We are retraining the teachers there to make sure that they teach the vocational, studies. But more than that, Iman, we are now also going to be starting with making sure that we upgrade our universities. The president has given us a clear instruction that we must build more universities. We must build more TVET colleges. So we are also, working very hard now. You'll see in our programs and in our plans that we are, but not just normal university. Man, I must also emphasize that it's going to be specialized, universities where you have engineering university, transport university, you'll have mining universities, and that is the kind of, higher education that we need. Because again, we are targeting the skills that are going to be needed by the industry. When the president say we are putting more money on infrastructure, we need young people who are going to be able to work with those projects in the infrastructure investment. We need young people who are engineers. We need, young people who are electricians, who are going to be able to take this economy forward. And we cannot do that, Iman, if we do not have those particular skills. So we've got to be able, as the higher education, to match, the demand of the industry with the skills that are available within the higher education sector.
But the reality, Deputy Minister, is that the availability of these colleges, they're not available now, right? So these specialized colleges that you're talking about, they're not ready for this cohort of students. You talked to me about upgrading the TVETs and the retraining of educationalists in those institutions. That's futuristic. What a learner is going to walk into in a TVET college today isn't the picture that you're presenting.
Iman, as we talk today, the TVET colleges are ready. We have teachers who are ready to teach our vocational training. What is happening, Iman, right now is that we are phasing out subjects such as the business studies in TVET colleges, your human resource. We are phasing those out from this year. In fact, we started 2 years ago. But we've given them 2 years to stop altogether those kind of, offerings in TVET colleges. That is why I'm talking about retraining of teachers. Already they've been trained. For the past 3 years, they have been trained. And for the past 3 years, we've been upgrading our infrastructure there to put even more technological and more upgraded, infrastructure, again, that is needed by the industry. Because I agree with you. It doesn't make sense for us to say we are gearing for the industry, but you find that the machinery and the equipment that we have in those TVET colleges is not up to scratch again with, today's, technological advancements. So we are doing all of that. We are really, if you can go to any of the TVET colleges, you might have seen even in our programs where we visit these institutions. Really, the kind of equipment that is there is of very high, technological standards. It meets the high level of standard. But we are also, as I say, we are upgrading even more to make sure that those that are still left behind, they're catching up with the technology.
So a calculation for 2026 provided by the Higher Education Minister Buti Manamela, 235,000 first-year university spaces. If you do the calculation along what's available, so private universities, TVETs, community colleges and the like, I think the availability of space is around 530,000. We have 705,000. That leaves a gap of a number of students. The minister says we have a plan for those people. What is the plan for students who are not going to make it into any higher education institution?
The plan, Iman, is SETAs, where they are offering, training programs again in the SETAs. That is the plan. But the other plan, Iman, is the e-learning. We are moving again with our universities and TVET colleges to make more spaces for e-learning for those, young people. And we are still calculating how much, campuses can take those who will be learning, online. But we are also going to be, making sure that by next year, we even offer now, the gadgets and the airtime and all of that for those, learners that are doing e-learning. We did it during COVID, times. So we are saying, let us go back to that. Let us push universities and TVET colleges to make sure that other campuses, Iman, already now, they do offer e-learning. I've been there to Eastern Cape. I've been to Limpopo. They are offering e-learning. The only thing is that we need to make sure that our workshops, when they now come for their practicals, are ready and they do have enough spaces for them to be able to do their trade exams, so that, again, they are able to proceed with their...
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for stopping by, Deputy Minister. Thank you for that. And I hope that what you've been saying really reaches into homes across the nation where these concerns abound around the what next for the class of 2025. The Higher Education Deputy Minister, Dr. Nomusa Dube-Ncube, talking about the readiness of the sector to handle the pressures of this new academic year.